the final say on the matters of the event. All concerns during the event should be brought to the attention of your server rep. The server rep will then bring matters to the game referee. Today's server reps you can contact are Casnox for Briggs and Jan V for Connery. The game referee is responsible for timekeeping, and the final result is also the responsibility of the game referee. The objective of today's event is to capture as much of Hossin as possible within the 2-hour time limit. The winner is the server with the most territory at the end of these 2 hours, as determined by the in-game territory control graph. There is no overtime. There are no immediate gameplay restrictions, so play the game as it is meant to be played. In preparation of the match, and in the interest of equal access to Akan Biolab, the generator protecting the A point at East Akan Storage Depot has been destroyed by me. Every player should also have their character number listed behind their name on TeamSpeak. For example, if your character is ServerSmash TR316, you should put the number 316 behind your name on TeamSpeak. A very important point for all participants, please do not delete any of your characters from the account you have been given. If you do delete a character, the character cannot simply be recreated by us with battle rank and certs. You will also not be given another account. Please report any problems you have with your characters or accounts to your server rep so we can keep track. During the match, all participants are required to remain on the continent of Hossin. You may not leave it to a different continent for any reason. If you have account problems or need to be replaced, contact your server rep. Also, reserves must check in with the server rep before subbing in. Cheating using exploits, hacking, or real-life enemy sabotage will disqualify your entire outfit and may impact your outfit's participation in future hosted events by Planetside battles. The match will start at the full hour, and you will receive a notice on all call from Farah. You are not allowed to leave the warp gate until the match starts. Good luck to all the Briggs and Connery participants.
Thank you, Justice. Right, well, we've got just over 10 minutes until we actually start the game. I guess we could want to talk a bit about the Hossin meta. We did have a flyover video, but I think we just want to talk about it in person.
Well, actually, I didn't realize we were 10 minutes out. If we're 10 minutes out, there's enough time to show that video.
Okay, so, alright, fair enough. So what's going to happen is we're going to show a little flyover video. This is done by Redolent. That'll kind of a brief rundown of the bases along the center, and after that we'll just have a little conversation about what we might see between the two outfits and gameplay that we've seen in the past. So we'll be right back.
Hossin is Planetside 2's first new continent since release, an arena of tenebrous swampland, multifaceted base layouts, and bioluminescent plants. While the open spaces of Esamir and Amarish favor vehicle play, Hossin is the playground for infantry. Briggs will begin from the eastern warp gate as the new conglomerate, and Connery will begin from the western warp gate as the Terran Republic. The first ServerSmash lane lies above the neutral warp gate in the far south. Global Telegraph and the Finger, two open cap point bases separated by a small forested area, with no neutral base to separate the combatants. This lane will be decided on which server can gain control of the other's capture point faster, and hold on with little surrounding cover. Moving north, Hunter's Blind can be a treehouse of horrors if you aren't vertically inclined. This arboreal base can only be accessed from the ground by way of 3 jump pads. Look for each server to try and gain control of the ground around the pads before making a move in force to the point. Fights here are fierce, and players who don't look above and below are easy pickings for light assaults. One of the largest set pieces in PS2, Gurney Dam confronts both servers with limited paths to the point, and poisonous water that will kill you instantly. The point is a typical powerhouse building with attached crescent, but the bridges to its island are narrow and easily choked, and the water will destroy even vehicles. Look for infantry to secure the point from the air, or for some fancy tightrope driving along the edge of the dam. Nason's Defiance is the central base of the con, accessed through the lattice's central wheel of bases. The caves beneath the base containing C Point offer a unique fight, but the base is won or lost at B. Already an easy layout for attackers to dig in, B Point rewards them even more with a vehicle and infantry terminal, making it practically a mini-enemy base. Nason's Defiance, despite its central location, is actually not the keystone of the middle of the map. This small base to the south of Akan is. The victor at Akan Southern Labs not only gains another access to the biolab, They also open a lane directly into the heart of the enemy's territory, with no large outposts to oppose them all the way to the warp gate. An open courtyard surrounded by balconies and easy access from the air make the point here deadly difficult to hold. An island of the familiar in a sea of new bases, Akan is a typical biolab until it comes to its surroundings. Its connecting bases are tucked behind massive rock formations and narrow canyons that leave attackers on the ground highly susceptible to ambush. Unlike most continents, the biolab does not form a choke point in a larger lane, and attackers will still need to push out of the area to secure their territory. Sometimes referred to as Clegg's Landing after its designer, Haid Skydock is a biolab gone wrong. Only its constituent parts remain sunken into the ooze, with no shield to protect infantry from the outside. Look for light assaults and infiltrators to use the wrecked skeleton of the dome to rain death from above, and crafty vehicle drivers can find creative parking spots inside the roof as well. One of the most unique bases on Hossin, the capture point at Kessel's Antiquated Crossing, lies below the superstructure of the bridge, hidden in a tangle of roots and debris that make close-in fighting a matter of necessity. Vehicle and infantry combat are well separated, so don't be surprised if there are tanks fighting on the bridge itself, while infantry move for the point. The base has good approaches from each warp gate, and both will have equal lanes to A point. There are many different entrances to the point room, and players that don't keep their head on a swivel are likely to lose it quickly. 8 starting fights with very different locations and strategies, spread throughout 8 kilometers of jungle. It will be up to the winner of these first battles to try and capitalize on their position and push the enemy back. Many of these bases become much harder to take once the base is owned by the enemy, so waiting to attack them later in the match is a risky gamble to take.
Well, another fine production as always. I think we'll need to update that when the map comes out of construction, Redolent.
Yes. And we'll also, those have now been shown several times, so I'll make sure to change it up a little bit for the tournament. Give some information.
So I guess we'll talk a little bit about some of the kind of overlays and graphs we've got now. So first things first, territory bar. This is one of the things. So we've got the stat numbers at the top, showing the percentage numbers, but we also have this percentage bars, and these numbers will move back and forth as bases flow, giving us an understanding of a tug of war, who has the influence. And across, when a base gets captured or defended, we'll get some notifications actually in the text box you should be able to see. One of the other elements we have here, which is kind of cool, is our kill count stats. So we'll leave this up during the stream as well. This will show basically, top bar is total number of kills, deaths, and TKs for the whole of the ServerSmash in the 2-hour period. The red is Briggs, because they're playing TR. Oh, sorry, Connery, apologies. Connery's playing TR, right? Yes.
Connery is playing TR.
Connery's playing TR, right. So red is Connery and blue is Briggs. There you go. Being NC. Some of the other stats we'll bring up from time to time. One is our leaderboard, which will fill out very quickly when the thing starts off. From it we get to see whoever has the top kills, death, KDs, that kind of stuff. But we also get to see the top outfits performing and the top weapon performings. Take special note, the Orion is not going to be there today. I'd be very impressed if the Orion was there, because that seems to be the very dominant VS weapon, right?
Yes, there was lots of praising or decrying the Orion after last week's match.
And possibly also AV grenades. And then the other last two more. We have a kill graph. Kill graph shows total number of kills for the both factions, so that will spike up into the many thousands as we go along. So we should be able to have an interesting site where both factions are, both outfits roughly as they are. And then finally, this map timeline. Now this thing's a little bit complicated, needs a little bit, it's kind of a little rough around the edges, but basically we're showing large outposts, small outposts, and certain bases they flicks, and it gives you a timeline of what captures and when it captures and who it goes for, right? So that's that out of the way. Now, as for the map itself, right? Here we go, showing the map. Redland, what do you do? Because in previous ServerSmashes, the very beginning, getting to that neutral territory, I've seen lots of ESF-specific vehicles flying with drop ships, or sorry, drop seats, and then getting onto the point.
That is something that's kind of become the de facto way of getting your guys to the front line as far as ServerSmash goes. Galaxies are just too slow, and really to get the people on the point and start fighting as quickly as you can, most servers are using majority bail ESFs, an ESF with an ejection seat to get down to the point.
20-30 seconds is more valuable than, say, bringing a Galaxy with maxes.
And, the real strategy here is, where do you place your forces? With the 2 Hossin matches that we saw Miller and Woodman play, both the Merger Smash and the Hossin Smash before it, they almost went opposite of one another. Miller from the west went really hard to the north, and Woodman tried to push the south. And there was another time where they both all crammed into the middle and tried to fight there. That's one of those... Yeah. That's one of those strategic things that can certainly set the pace at the beginning of the match, and depending on what you get, it might actually win you the match. Can you outsmart your enemy about where you place your people and gather enough territory ahead of them before they can react to you?
Right. So I'll be interested to see if Briggs, this is the first ServerSmash, and they've got 240 people, so the numbers are a little bit less than 288, and there's a lot of lanes here, so it's going to be more spread out, so we can see a lot of maybe interdiction forces or small infills being a nuisance perhaps. We'll see how Air Force is going to come into play. I know Miller's Air Force was quite dominant when they played on Hossin last time in the Merger Smash. But do you place an emphasis in the Biolab? Because to me that's a base that you can lose very, very quickly. Getting control of Nason's Defiance is sort of a linchpin in the middle, and maybe getting Hunter's Blind in the south so you can push. This gives you plenty of lanes to spread out. How would you do it?
I think that honestly, the middle of the map in all of our maps is a very, very important place to hold. This is probably the most complicated strategically as to where to place your people. It's not just as simple as getting Nason's Defiance or getting the Biolab or getting the dam.
Give me 1 second here. We're getting the 60-second marker before we start.
Okay. Justicia will be doing that on all call. So.
Did he say I would be starting, or he would be starting?
No, he would be starting. Let's drag him into
You might want to check that, because I thought it was me. But anyway, as far as the map's concerned...
Justicia, I'm dragging you down in here just so we can all be on the same page here. You will be giving the 30-second and beyond.
I will?
Yes, you will.
Alright.
Well, we're about to start. I'm going to head off to the TR Western Warp Gate then.
Alright, everybody, 30 seconds to go.
I'm here at NC. They have a lot of ESFs, just like everyone else.
Your clock's different from my clock.
I'll just put an all call when the timer of Maelstrom starts.
Which for me is different from you.
Which is in 5 seconds.
Yes.
5.
Tell them.
Okay, everybody start. Start your engines. Go, go, go.
Jesus Christ. Right, thank you very much, Justicia.
Sorry about that.
That's like the most anti-hype start. Yes, here we go, finally. Briggs' first game, and we have started. And Briggs is pulling out the Mozzies. How's Connery's start going?
You are following Connery if you are following the TR.
Oh, I am indeed following the TR. Yes, I'm on a TR character, so I am following Connery.
And Briggs seems to be going mostly north right now. I'm trying to see where exactly they're headed. I'm over Woodman ASE, so they seem to be headed to the Biolab area and the southern Biolab spot. They've put a lot of people on Akon South, and so has
Connery. This is awesome. I wonder if these are going to be drop seats, or no? They actually want to fight.
Lots of explosions, probably about half and half, honestly, of what I've seen. Some of them are staying up and fighting.
Now the thing is, there's no Sunders, and the vehicle bay. That's going to be interesting. Let me bump this up and put the stats back on. There we go. So the first people to hack the vehicle terminal was Connery. They've got themselves a spawn Sunder out. That's a huge advantage over Briggs.
This might be some nightmare deja vu here, but Briggs has managed to interdict Connery at a Con data hub, and Connery cannot get the access into it right now. They do not have people on the ground, and there are a large number of Briggs people at the point here. It is not yet flipped in Connery's favor.
Briggs they're using spawn beacons at the moment as a reinforcement for Akan Southern Labs, but they have no Sunder. And the difference here is that Connery is not reliant on their beacons, and they can bring maxes to the fight, as we can see.
A very large force of Connery is up at Kessel's Antiquated Crossing. However, they're basically yin-yang split between what Briggs is doing. Briggs has moved a large force to Construction Site Beta. And down in the south, Connery looks like they're getting Hunter's Blind. Briggs is a 50-50 very small fight at SRP Nanite Relay. I'm actually going to head down to the south here.
The spawn beacon timer is now beginning to bite on Briggs, that they can't reinforce as quickly as Connery can with their Sunder, and Connery's force is just slowly beginning to push back the Briggs force, and it looks like Camp Southern Labs, at least for the beginning now, is going to... Oh, hold on, that is a Briggs Sunder if I just saw one, so maybe this fight will turn around. It has to contend with the Connery TR one though, that's already there. Oh, and there's a Pounder Max waiting for him, but he has got Vanguard back up. A number of Sunders, so a good low armor force is turned up for a Briggs, that is, on the let's see, Akan Southern Labs on the southern point. Now, Connery forces have got to know their Sunder's gone. Yeah, so they've realised and they've turned around, and now they're turning back and they're going to go after Briggs' Sunder, and Briggs has now got the difficult point where they need to push out of their garage. I don't think they got the numbers right. Go ahead.
In the south, there is a decent force of NC on the point at SRP Nanite Relay, which is preventing any of the Connery people from resecuring this, although it is approximately an even pop fight. It looks like there's more Briggs than Connery here. Hunter's Blind is overpopped with TR. Looks like Connery's going to get that. Gurney Dam is flipping in favor of the NC. That would be Briggs very shortly here, and Connery is pretty much alone at Nason's Defiance with a very large force.
Briggs just pulled off a beautiful flank behind the Connery force, and with that they've managed to push themselves out of the vehicle Sunder, but the problem is the Sunder is now dead. So Briggs is pushing out, but do they have any extra spawns? Yes, they do have a further second Sunder that's further away, and they are now beginning to push back to the capture point at Akan Southern Labs. And they have a medic on the point. And the catch is Connery has got very few people because I don't see many spawn beacons, and the key thing is, do they have a Sunder? And I don't think they do. Nope, don't see one.
Briggs has managed to get a Sunder deployed at Hunter's Blind, but they have to be taking the jump pad up to it and are just being absolutely chewed apart by the Connery defense that is holding around. Connery has a Bulldog Galaxy up that's trying to take care of some of this at Hunter's Blind. Looks like a pretty secure cap in favor of Connery at the moment. And
Akan Southern Labs is now firmly in control of Briggs, or by Briggs, so there would need to be a fresh vehicle pool and reinforcements by Connery to take this back. And then we do see some Sunders on the road, so we do have some Connery Sunders, and they are beginning to, with their air force, attack Briggs' armour that are protecting their own Sunders. But they only need to stall time for about 2 minutes, and they've even brought another one into the garage. So, I mean, this is looking good for Briggs, at least for Akan Southern Labs. Now, have a look at the map. In the north, Kessel's Antiquated Crossing has been taken by Connery.
There is a huge Briggs Sunderer ball here. I don't know, 6-8 repair Sunderer ball at Kessel's Antiquated Crossing that just rolled in.
I need to check this out.
This is Trojan Troll's outfit from Briggs, just rolled in with this. There's a whole bunch of them. They haven't managed to get onto the point yet.
You're not kidding. Yes, they are. And everyone's using the Stealth's camo.
So they have... Connery has not yet managed to get ahead of them. There's a large armor force that's coming out of Shack Fusion that doesn't allow them to push forward. So even though Briggs has managed to get on the point here, they are stopping Connery from moving forward.
So the Akan Biolab is beginning to be hacked now by Briggs. They're the first people on point, and they'll be able to get it. And the Akan Data Hub is still being held off. That's very impressive.
And now Connery seems to have moved. I'm trying to see if it's people or if it's their Air Force inside. I'm trying to see if they're going to do a point hold without connections here. No, that was just their Air Force. It happens to be over the Biolab right now. Okay.
So we have a pretty awesome defense by Briggs, holding on to the Alpha capture point. Oh, but there is a max crash coming in of at least 4 maxes on the big staircase. This should be enough, if properly done, to punch their way through and get to the capture point.
And Nason's Defiance looks like it's going to fall in Connery's favor. There does not seem to be enough Briggs force there right now. Now, this is the kind of base where it just takes one galaxy full of guys and you can change this timer very quickly. So it's 90 seconds for Connery to cap here, but we will see if Briggs tries to make a play in the last moments.
Oh my goodness! I can't believe that. So, construction site Beta, was that taken by Connery? It must have been.
No, that is... Briggs took construction site Beta.
Briggs
and now
took construction site Beta, and the TR force that went to a Cannes data hub can't get the point because Hatcher Air Station's been attacked from behind. Oh, that's a beautiful flank. That means they will get the Cannes Biolab for free, and it means with the attack on the Cannes Southern Labs, they get the center of the base, and that's a very strong position now. And if they can apply pressure to Air Station, that would be huge if they could get their hands on it. What's going on in the south? And the TR force is already redeploying, losing their maxes.
The south seems to have been locked up very well by Connery. There's still a fight going on at SRP Nanite Relay. I'm actually headed to Gurney Dam right now because I noticed it's falling even with limited TR forces there. I wonder who was on the point here. I have my suspicions.
I didn't even know you could park a Sunder here at Bravo. That's a beautiful Sunder by Briggs on the B point. And they have a Sunder on the A point. That's amazingly powerful for redeploying to get to where you need to be. And I bet their main defensive force is possibly at sea. Let's have a look.
There is a very well dug in force of Connery TR at Gurney Dam right now. And I wonder if this wasn't their plan all along. This is something that 3 outfits very specifically on Connery love to do. They love this base. They love basically saying, come and get us. And I wonder if those outfits specifically are on the point basically trying to do the hold. I can't, unfortunately, read their tags very quickly. You'd have to fly over there for me. But
Nason's Defiance is flipped for Connery. That's quite important as well because of the large outpost. It's difficult to take back.
They have given up quite a bit of other territory, unfortunately, in trade. They do need to watch out to the north. I'm heading up to the Awful Pit right now.
Here's a question. As Briggs, do you want to put a lot of effort taking an enemy large outpost such as Hatcher Air Station? Or do you think it's better to apply pressure on multiple points that are small outposts, get as much as you can to begin with when it's chaotic in the first half hour, and then decide to go for large outposts if you have to? Or do you still commit this number of resources going after a large outpost?
One of the things that we saw last week was it's not so much the amount of people that you have to deploy to get a large outpost, it's the amount of time you have to deploy them. And the more small 4-minute caps that you can do, you can basically do 2 of those in the time that it's going to take you to get a large outpost if it's defended. So while you have the opportunity, you need to be getting the easy stuff as soon as possible.
And we're already seeing large redeployments. The simple fact is there's simply not enough people at Hatcher Air Station for Briggs. The TR Connery, they're committing a lot more, yes. They're outnumbered 3-1. So, I mean, they're doing a great number at stalling troops and preventing any form of defensive cap on the Awful Pit. Because right now, that's going with 60 seconds to go, and they outnumber all the attackers at 2-1.
There is a galaxy over here. I wanted to see if they were going to drop, but I didn't see them do anything. They don't seem to be having a large force that's come in. They have some air. Connery does that's come in.
Yeah, we see some air over the point, and we see a Valkyrie. The capture point is defended by 1 guy, 3 guys, 4 guys. Okay, so there actually is a decent squad outside, but they are open. 30 seconds. They might be able to pull this off. There's no reason why these guys should be getting this base, but it's entirely likely that if they're able to just hold it... Now, where's that Valkyrie? Is it just been abandoned, or is it actually letting people spawn in?
Speaking of getting bases, the point hold that has gone on at Gurney Dam looks like it doesn't even have anyone trying to stop it at this point. Oh, I'm sorry, there is a max crash going on. They don't have near enough people. They can't get anywhere near the point of A right now. They're just getting chewed apart. Gurney Dam is 10 seconds away. It looks like Connery's going to get this through and get another linchpin of that center area. The question is, have they given up too much to get it?
Yeah, well, Juggernauts from Briggs just took Awful Pits with some resistance at the very end, but they've cut off Kessler's Antiquated Crossing. It'd be really great for them to get it, but they've lost Jack Fusion Lab. They will do in the next 9 seconds.
So Gurney Dam flips in favor of Connery. They do have to go deal with Nason's Defiance, which is falling, although that is a large, relatively easy to defend area. They also have to go deal with Broken Veil. Briggs is already behind them there. I'm heading there right now.
Recursion has taken Chak Fusion Lab, which means the tech plant in the north is threatened, meaning that, you know...
And they're already on it. They already have somebody, an infiltrator or something forward on Shack Tech. It's already
they have a bunch of people. I can also see they have a Galaxy and a Sunder set up, so they really are, you know, striking deep into Briggs' line, going for the tech plant in the north. If Briggs plays smart, they should be able to defend the Awful Pit and just mop up in the north. Percentage territory-wise, we are 50 to 48, so even with this setback, Briggs is still slightly in the lead, but it's so early to call. It's you can't take anything from this at the moment. Briggs is actually taking Broken Veil in 60 seconds. That's a base that likes to go back and forth.
I'm here. It is a base that likes to go back and forth, and if I suspect what Connery's going to do, they're going to be more worried about defending Nason's Defiance than they are Broken Veil, because they know that they can just drop somebody on there, and they seem to be very intent on taking that tech plant, which that right there is an interesting thing. I'm interested to see if Briggs goes to defend their tech
plant, though. So surely it can't be we want to kill off their tech. It's more of a this is just us pushing for a very good base that we think we can defend.
Again, Recursion you mentioned were the people who are up there. There are certain bases that everyone on Connery knows they're going to find Recursion in. They're going to find them attacking tech plants. They're going to find them attacking places that have easily defensible buildings. That's their meta. That's what they do. They bring in less people than you have and say, come at us. If you can kick us off, do it. And that's exactly what they're doing to Briggs right now up at their tech plant.
Connery turns up, but only at the very last moment. 12 people coming in. It's about one squad, but they've already lost the base with 1 second to go. Far too many ANC from Briggs on board. So the Blood Wolves have taken for Briggs this base, Broken Veil Garrison. Now they do have a squad or two perhaps of Connery on top, but if the Briggs force plays it smart, they should be able just to mop up. Oh, then again,
I'm heading
it could
to
flip all the way
Nason's
back.
Defiance right now, which is an even pop fight, but seems to be still going in favor of Briggs. I want to go see where they are over there. How is the south going on?
Well, as we're looking at the map, construction site Sigma, possibly up to 12 people. We'll go have a look now. That's the only one that's actually flipping in the south.
This is an even pop fight here at Nason's Defiance, but it is... You know what? It's even pop because Connery's Air Force is here. Briggs owns all 3 points currently at Nason's Defiance.
Well, Squad of 12 is pushing into construction site Sigma. It looks like a ghost cap, and it is a ghost cap. So it's just taken up about 12 of Connery's forces. Hunter's Blind, however, is a far more serious attack. There is a small attack going at SRP Nanite Relay Station as well. We're going to go check out what I like to call Ewok Village.
This is something that we didn't see from Connery Air in the last match, and it was kind of troubling. Here, the Connery Air is at Nason's Defiance, and it's taking them a little while to do things, but they are mopping up Sunders. That's what they're here to do. They have Liberators, they have ground pounders. Yes. Yeah, they're doing spawn killing, and that's what they're here to do. They're not just floating up, waiting for the other Air Force to get them. That's a huge difference from what we saw last week.
When an attacking force... maybe on live server you might play differently because you want to farm the enemy, but if you just want to kill the fight dead, you kill the spawns every time. And if you've got air control, then that's what you should be doing. As for Briggs, however, I love the fact that they're using Valkyries. They've got twin Valkyries currently at Hunter's Blind. I'm just going to check their spec. I do believe they're double squad spawns.
My client just crashed, unfortunately.
It's okay. So long as it's just your client. The SRP Nanite Relay, Connery still has population, Hunter's Blind, Briggs still has population. They've got a Galaxy support with maybe a Bulldog, they've got a beacon, but they're not actively trying to suppress bar one light assault. They're not actually trying to suppress the spawn room. Connery is free to push out. Double max, full squad of infantry. It looks like this is probably one outfit. We can't have a look.
Farah, sorry to interrupt. Can you reset the statistics page, please?
Done. There you go. Thank you.
Tell.
So SQL, maybe you can give me a brief on who SQL is, please, Redland. But they're applying pressure, and they've already got a Galaxy over the point, and 56, and they're pushing into the capture point. It's very difficult with a minute to go, minute and a half. I don't think there's any chance this Briggs force can hold, especially without any Galaxy maxes.
SQL, I believe, would be Solex. That would be the closest guess I could have to it. And 56 is 56th Recon Division from Connery. The Chak Tech plant is 2 minutes away from capping, and seems to still be going through.
That I find hard to believe, and it is true. Jeez, I can't believe it. Connery has 3 times more numbers at the tech plant. You can't give away a 7-minute single-point large outpost.
I think that's the difference here. Since we switched away from number of points mattering for large outposts, now you really have to think from a time perspective. It's that the amount of points they're going to get for that is equal to everything else, but it's going to take you 7 minutes to try and get it back. That's the benefit of
that is a massive block in the north, because once they have that, the only other venture point is Hade Skydock and maybe Matsuda Genetics are the 2 blocks. Possibly. I mean, yes, Briggs has made good progress in the middle, but they don't have the center. I mean, they're trying to fight for Gurney Dam at the moment, and Hunter's Blind they've just lost, and they've just lost SRP Nanite Relay, or they will do in the next 20 seconds.
I have found Briggs' Air Force. It looks to be equal in size to Connery's Air Force, and they are engaging some mosquitoes over the biolab right now, over a Con biolab.
Some of Briggs are taking the tunnel, but it's too few and too late. With 60 seconds to go, they're taking the side tunnel, taking them to basically the side of the cap point. But the fact is, the TR force, they see them, they've got motion, they know what's about to happen.
Now, one thing that is happening while all this is going on is Nason's Defiance has not been mopped up yet, and Gurney Dam is falling again. So they worked all that time, Connery worked all that time to get the middle, and now they need to come defend it. That's not something they're doing at the moment. Both of those are still ticking.
There must be another outfit. The TRG and Recursion are the ones holding on to this tech, or trying to attack this tech plant. They've got 30 seconds to go. Now Briggs is turning up with Maxes and infantry support, but they are leaving way too late. 20 seconds to go. This Briggs force needs to haul its backside to the capture point. But the fact is, the TR from Connery, they've got at least 10 guys around the cap point, easily able to fall back. They're going to get the tech plant, not necessarily for free, but really easily. Briggs should not have let this go. And there you go, Connery gets the tech plant.
And Connery actually just showed up with a bare few seconds remaining on Gurney Dam. Kicked, it looked like Dent and TAW were the outfits from, or TWS were the outfits from Briggs. I'm trying to see who it was from Connery. This is 56th. Probably this would be 56th and Bade would be my guesses here. But that was a 20-second resecure of Gurney Dam in the center here.
Right.
Nason's Defiance is still falling.
There's a large Connery force at Awful Pit, at least 24 people. Ooh, a free battle rank. So, I mean, they are trying to reconnect their northern territories. So, at the moment, Connery, I can see, is doing a strong emphasis, and they've got some of their good outfits fighting in the north. Briggs, however, is still trying to get Hatcher Air Station. So, the equal number that's going for Awful Pit is going for Hatcher Air Station. But and the timers are actually roughly the same, so this is interesting because they must have 3 capture points at Hatcher Air Station. Nason's Defiance, they're being pushed out. Hurricane Securer, they probably won't get that through to the populations. We'll go back to the map in a second, guys. We're just analysing what's going on. Gurney Dam, they've been pushed out. Hunter's Blind, they've been pushed out. But Nanite Relay, Briggs is saving the base before they decide to make any other choices. Now, having a look at Awful Pit, can you have a look at Hatcher Air Station, please?
That's where I'm heading right now. All 3 points are currently owned by Briggs, and if there is a single Connery person here, I don't see them. I guess that's not true. There's a small squad trying to push, but not near enough to make any detailed push here.
3 medics from Briggs. It's a fighting little trio. 4 medics from TRO1. I don't know if you know who they are. From Briggs.
I'm sorry, what was the outfit?
TRO, that's the outfit tag. TRO1, I think.
That would be Trojan Trolls, I believe.
Right, well the fact is, now they're bringing in some heavy assaults, but they are beginning to do some flanking pressure, and they are trying to get to the capture point. The numbers are 50-50, 49-51, close enough that it's negligible. There's lots of motion sensors currently for the TR. Briggs has brought himself an extra Sundra. I don't know if he's actually going to move in the point. He really should just charge into the point with 60 seconds to go. Nope, he's deployed the Sunder. He's not doing that. What he should have done then is gone to max. If you're going to pull something like that, the only reason you need a Sunder that close is the max. So 6 seconds to go, you don't... They need a slightly closer spawn point. 40 seconds to go. Connery, in theory, could hold this, although they are beginning to lose medics, and lovely flanked by this heavy assault. Oh, wow,
Connery's Air Force has showed up at Hatcher Air Station to try and help the resecure of this base. Again, they're going after spawn sunders, which is their job. That's what they should be doing. And
sorry.
No, I mean, just right now they only hold 1 point though. So this is one of those situations where it's great the air's here, but you also need some people on the ground pushing the points.
Well, 15 seconds until Awful Pit goes. The NC of Briggs are outside. They are literally outside the door now. 9 seconds. You need to get inside, son. Go. Oh, jeez. Oh, you could have gone in the confusion. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. They're going to get this base. They've just been pushed back. Briggs just simply couldn't get there in time. And that's TR-42 took Awful Pit.
That would be T-42, the 42 South Pit. So it seems like Connery had this plan to push the north, really get the tech plant, which is falling, by the way. They need to get some people back over there and try and resecure that. But in doing so, they've lost a lot of territory. I want to see now if they can kind of resecure their areas and push out from where they are, because everything I see ticking at the moment is either currently ticking for Briggs or was just a moment ago ticking for Briggs.
They've got themselves on the capture point at Awful Pit. However, without any Sunder spawns, this looks like it's going to be mopped up fairly quickly. Yes, they're outnumbered 3-1. The Chak tech plant is only a single squad. It's 50-50 numbers perfectly. The fact is, that's got 5 minutes to go. If Connery wants to, they could come in the 3-minute marker and properly save that. Hatcher Air Station is interesting because they've really been trying to get that. As you know, they even gave up their tech plant to get this, and they only have a single capture point. And they're being pushed out now. It's the merry-go-round effect where a huge attacking force from Connery is just systematically going from one point to the next. And as you're seeing, their air force is here as well with Galaxy.
Yes. Briggs had a nice little camp going on the balcony of the tech plant, but there's a small force of TR Connery that are pushing through, and they haven't quite mopped them up yet, but I think it's only a matter of moments.
I'm going to go to Epsilon construction site because I do believe they are on the inside, and 30 seconds to go, they may actually get space. They're on the upper balconies above the capture point. Connery has come in with the max and infantry. These guys don't realize they're going to get flanked from the side. Pay attention, guys. So one balcony's been cleared up. The capture point is being flipped. Is not being flipped. 20 seconds. They're desperately trying to hold on to it. I don't think they can. It's just that few too many seconds. Very close there by Briggs.
Briggs again owns all 3 points at Nason's Defiance here. This was what they made their push for. This is what they gave up their tech plant for. They outpop by 58-42, and it's down to 2 minutes. This is the point where Connery, if they're going to make a playback for this base, they need to do it now. And one of the good things Briggs has done is they've made them go put out a lot of fires. There's a lot of bases that still need Connery's help, and there may not just be people to put here. That might be the problem we're running into for Connery.
There's definitely a lot of pressure in a lot of places. Now, Nason's Defense is the next big attack. The Hunter's Blind looks like it's been saved. Construction site Sigma is still counting down with 1 minute 40 to go, but they need to make a save and then at relay, but they've got enough numbers. So I'm going to head over to... well, there's actually still a fight going on at that construction site, so I apologise, but I want to have a look at Nason's Defiance.
You know, I've seen Briggs Air Force once, and I've seen Connery's Air Force a couple times. I'm wondering if they can't actually fight each other that easily because of the trees. Connery seems to be trying to stay down dealing with spawn sunders, and it's possible Briggs can't find them.
Now, the problem with Nason's Defiance is just that, well, they do have enough numbers, I think. They've got reinforced. They were losing the B point, but it's not really losing the B point, it's just nobody there. It's one heavy assault being a nuisance. He is stalling a good number of seconds, right? He's being pushed off. But there's nobody at the moment for Briggs. They need to get a guy on B, because as soon as they capture B, the timer goes exponentially fast. And they have a whole squad at B, just not necessarily on the point yet. Come on, guys, get over here. Right, so there we go. We see how it just dropped from 2 minutes down to 1 minute there because they got the capture point. They are firmly entrenched in B. Lots of people. The Charlie capture point underground looks like it's in their hands. We'll go there in a second. And the Alpha capture point is actually only lightly held as far as we can tell from the minimap. if anything, Connery should easily be able to get themselves A, but the problem is, at this time, with 1 minute to go, that's asking a lot. They need to get themselves that second point. It no longer is a 20-minute base capture. On the C capture point, which
yeah,
is
it's
their
down
next,
40 seconds.
and the Charlie capture point, we've got a couple. It's not anything huge. I mean, the B capture point is by far the most impressive. I wonder if Connery knows how to get down here.
Another thing, Briggs has gotten themselves on the point of Hunter's Blind and are holding on for dear life. I'm trying to see if there's a threat to them right now. Connery has a small group pushing out, but they're being held at the corners. 90 seconds or less to go on this base, and I don't really see a huge push from Connery at the moment. This is a place that could certainly use some air support from Connery if they could send it down.
Well, we see that Connery has timed this probably quite well in that there were 90 seconds to go with 2 capture points, and they've now firmly pushed themselves onto the C point. Briggs still has the B point, and with the A and C now secured, Connery is beginning to resecure Nason's Defiance. It's a long one though at 19 minutes, showing how close Briggs got to nearly capturing it. So this Briggs force on the B capture point, they can just sit there and be a nuisance, and we see that Connery's Air Force is also turned up.
Oh, that was a beautiful flank from Connery at Hunter's Blind. They had all of the Briggs guys watching in front of them, and meanwhile they'd pushed over the top and dropped down behind him and got on the point. That was beautiful. Who was that here? That was the SQL guys, which I'm assuming that's Solex. So another great last-minute defense of Hunter's Blind. That is something this base is really good at. Once you get it, so long as you can do that final last gas push to the point, it's relatively easy to defend.
If we look at the statistics here, Briggs is in the lead by like 1%. Is that correct? Yes, 1%.
Yep.
Because of the warp gate counts as a single percent. That's why it's not 100, guys. Just letting you know. But taking into consideration, we look at the map, and I got to be very impressed with Briggs because, they're losing construction site beta. I was going to say that everywhere is on fire for Connery. They're being attacked everywhere, and that is great for Briggs applying pressure, but during this, one base that they own is being captured with 10 seconds to go. It's surrounded by Briggs, but they simply can't get into the capture point. You need to run on that point. Don't worry about your KD. Run in. What are you worried about? Oh man, they're just staying outside. They're edging the windows, and TR-42 takes the base for Connery. This Connery force, I mean, I can't say that Briggs gifted it, but instead of fighting outside, when it gets to that 10-second marker and you can run to the capture point in 10 seconds, you need to run to that capture point because that's all that matters.
And that is with that capture, it actually puts Connery into the lead by 1 percentage point for the first time in this match. So even with all the pressure that Briggs is doing, Connery has managed to kind of stay calm and keep what their plan was, which was obviously the north and securing the middle, and now it's just slowly grinding it back.
So Whispering Pass has probably a full squad there. Construction site Sigma, hard to say, is again under attack. So the 2 bases on the south are under attack again. I was going to go over to Whispering Pass.
Now this is a really interesting thing with this tech plant, and I wonder if this was the intention behind Connery taking it. This has become a pop sink for Briggs. They can't leave it. They have to keep on sending 24, 36 people here. And there's still a Connery force here. They're throwing grenades up. They're killing them off one at a time. But these people have to sit here for 7 minutes, and Connery can come in at the last possible moment and kick them off. That is the huge benefit of going after this tech plant, is basically saying, yeah, we'll ignore it for a while, and then we'll come and kick you off of it anyway.
And Briggs is trying to take Hatcher Air Station again, although I'm not certain about the logic behind that, maybe using those numbers elsewhere, but it's definitely syncing up some of Connery's numbers. Broken Vale Garrison is being attacked by Connery, although they are outnumbered. However, the capture point is in a very advantageous position. Hurricane Secure Storage doesn't look like they're going to get it because it's 87% TR storage, so that's probably going to go back. There's a huge population at Nason's Defiance again. They're outnumbering it 2-1, so we'll see how far that goes in 3 minutes and 42 seconds. Gurney Dam's been saved, Hunter's Blind's been saved. Construction Site Sigma and Whispering Pass, they're both about to go in 40 seconds.
I'm actually down here at Whispering Pass, and there is a single Connery person down here. That's all I see. So
no, Whispering Pass, I can see a whole squad of them beginning to go in. Can you have a look at Construction Site Sigma? It looks like TR saved.
Yes, it just got saved by TR. I'm going to see who was here.
Oh, the warp gate's not counted. Where's that 1%?
That's
oh, it's rounding off.
It's rounding off, yeah.
It's rounding off.
It's frankly the reason that we can say there's no draw. So even though it doesn't make sense because the math doesn't work, the game works correctly and can
speculation,
give a winner.
How, you know, whatnot. I just assumed it did, but there you go. So because normally you'd work up to 100 bit fairies.
Yes.
Oh, Briggs has actually got themselves a decent sunder at Whispering Pass. It's overlooking the A point, but they're out popped, I believe.
This looked like it was Bade that resecured construction site Sigma, and Whispering Pass looks like it was resecured as well. But Nason's Defiance is still under threat.
But the problem is that tier force can abandon. Well, how long do you leave and wait for the cap point to go back up? So long as that Connery, as long as Briggs applies pressure on Connery at all bases, it doesn't matter if they lost 2 potential attacks. So long as you tie down those numbers, the attack going on at at Nason's Defiance is doing really well. 60 seconds to go. This is cutting it really close again.
There's a small force of TR that are trying to get onto A point, but I don't think they have enough to actually take out what's here. They're killing a lot of people, though. I give them that.
There's about 6 to 10 people for Briggs on the Bravo capture point. This is one medic from TR Connery. He's got himself kill number 1. He is looking for that point. He wants it. He's getting attacked from behind, and he jumps over. Where are you going, sir? He's regenerating his health. He's being followed. Heavy assault from Briggs. Really wants that kill. Oh, now he's been pounced by a medic, and he's down. So Briggs still in control of the building, although the capture point is beginning to flicker. 30 seconds, and the B point, which they should have, was flickering. It's dead. Heavy assault is dead. They might actually get this. It's so close now that even with one capture point, 13 seconds ago, Briggs is going to get Nason's Defiance. That's quite impressive. I'm surprised that Connery let this go.
Yeah, it seemed to be one of their major focuses in the beginning, and I'm surprised that they let it go as well.
They're trying to do some last moment drops, and they're perhaps flipping the A point, but there you go. So RA team, congrats to them, and perhaps some of the other people helping them out for taking Nason's Defiance. And that puts Briggs back in the lead, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it should here in just a moment, and this is, I guess this is one of the benefits of having a relatively small population on a continent that can hold far more. You wind up with a much more volatile match.
We're currently looking at Gurney Dam. Gurney Dam belongs to Connery, and they are firmly entrenched on the capture point. We've got some barrel roll galaxies dropping down, large force of Briggs. The Connery force is just waiting. That's 666. Is that Devil Dogs?
That is Devil Dogs, yes.
Yeah, so they're waiting for this force to come down. The problem is that Connery's got maxes, Briggs doesn't have maxes, but they've been gal dropped. Why isn't Briggs bringing... Well, you have to get the guys on board, I suppose, but... The Connery force is destroying this Briggs team simply because... I take that back entirely. A counterflank from the large staircase by the Briggs force just wiped out the Connery force. And the population's 2-1, but Connery's beginning to spawn in from the west, and it's a lot of people. They're not coming with air, they don't have air force, but they are, applying equal number of guys from both main bridges.
One of the dangers with that Gurney Dam is if you allow Briggs to take it, they have essentially locked off the center of the map. You no longer have any access to anything to do multiple hits. They could just basically 1-point defense you for the entire center, and that's a danger that Connery really doesn't want to have to face right now. Right now, if they keep Gurney, they can attack in 3 directions. If they lose it, they can pretty much only attack one base at a time coming in.
Well, we're just having a quick look at the stats while we're watching this fight on the top of further down. Plenty of reinforcements coming in from multiple galaxies, from multiple outfits.
Absolutely huge Briggs Air Force over Brokenville Garrison. This might be larger than a platoon worth of ESFs at the moment.
Top outfit is Briggs Air Machine. They've already got themselves 490 combined kills. Future Crew is in second place, however, then comes Renegade 18. So we're just showing some of the service outfit stats at the moment. Briggs is firmly holding on to their capture point at the moment. Connery's beginning to drop down, no maxes this time, throwing in plenty of grenades, but Briggs is holding the front door. And top weapon kills Carve 9, T9, and then the MSWR, and then the EM6, and then the Carnage, then the Anchor. No Gaussel, way down in 9th place.
Connery also seems to have force at Shack Intel Hub out pop that's ticking it down. I'm going to go check that out, see if that's possibly going to happen down here.
Have a look inside the capture point at Gurney Dam now. Okay, so they have been kind of, I think it's res-graze going on. The NC Force is just rezzing. This one little TR Connery light assault is just picking them off. But the fact is, with 90 seconds though, and the fact that Connery is inside the capture point, constantly damaging the shields, I don't think Briggs can hold on to this. Lots of healing grenades. I think this is the final push now for Connery, mopping up the last of the Briggs force. And they are indeed on the point.
Shack Intel Hub came down a decent way by a very small group of TR who, unfortunately, I could not read their tags, and drew a significant number of Briggs to come resecure this point from them. But in the end, they did get killed off, and Shack Intel is currently secured by them.
Bit of a late reinforcement from Briggs on the Gurney Dam. It's not really going to do that much. As we look at the kill graph, we can clearly see that Connery is ahead on combined kills, roughly by about 300 kills as it's going up. Maybe that's actually going up to 400 kill difference. We'll see how that gap remains consistent or not throughout the game. But the important thing I have to say is that Briggs is in the lead, so Briggs is more willing to be aggressive, to go for attacks, and that's where their KD suffers, but they're winning the game, at least at the moment.
Briggs was trying to get a Sunder onto the point here at Construction Site Beta, and it didn't quite get inside. This is a massive fight with a lot of smoke. I'm sorry, it did get inside. There's so much smoke I didn't see the Sunder. This is Construction Site Beta with under a minute to go. The TR are upstairs firing down on them. I wonder if people just can't see each other. There's so much smoke going on at this point right now.
Well, there's reinforcements at Gurney Dam. I'm going to come up to Construction Site Beta and check that out.
The TR just got wiped out of their little spot that they had upstairs. They did manage to take out the Sunder, which I think was... Oh, and they bring another one right back in. So another Cobalt Fury Sunder brought in by
20 seconds.
Briggs.
Oh, it's really effective, that Sunder, although he's missing his repair buddy friend. 15 seconds, and that Sunder is making all the difference. All the difference at the moment. And they're going to get this base because of it.
Yes.
And that's 56th who are trying to do the defense, but Juggernauts from Briggs takes it. So congratulations to Juggernauts from Briggs, further implementing a small lead for Briggs now, pushing up to 52%.
I am back over at Broken Vale, and it's an even pop fight, but I don't see any NC making it to the point yet. Oh gosh, they're taking the jump pad and just being absolutely firing squad mode down by Connery TR here.
Looks like Recursion has decided to turn up the Construction Site Beta, and they might be working with TRG. We'll see in a second. I definitely know TR42 and Recursion from Connery are trying to take back Construction Site Beta.
Connery also, it looks like they're going to get Hurricane Secure Storage. That's a moment away from capping. That's happened. And Broken Vale Garrison they're making a play for, although it looks like they might have just gotten flanked around behind. I wasn't over there. Oh yeah, they just got... they were caught out of position, unfortunately. TR had most of its people up guarding the airpad, and they got either gal dropped or flanked. So Broken Vale is saved, but they did manage to get another connection into that center area. They now have Hurricane Secure Storage.
The capture point is now firmly in the hands of the Terran Republic from Connery at Construction Site Beta, but then again they did have twice the numbers of the enemy. A CAN data hub is also for free being taken by Connery. There are no defenders for Briggs at the moment. Broken Vale is being taken by the Terran Republic, again a very difficult base to hold on to. Gurney Dam is going back and forth, but it's no capture point moving at the moment. Construction Sites Sigma heavily in favour of Connery. So at the moment the map is beginning to slightly stabilise. However, it looks like the TR force is trying to take water purification, but that's a devilish tricky base to take because of the generator that protects the cap point.
From what we've seen, I actually think a stable map does not work in Briggs' favor. Briggs wants as many things ticking as possible because it's going to force Connery to try and put out too many fires. And the best gains they had was when Connery was having to run all over the map and many things. You allow this map to stabilize and you allow Connery's heir to say, we're going to go take this map. That's kind of what happened in that point right after the tech plant happened, where things stabilized and suddenly Connery went 1 point up in the lead. I'm currently at construction site Sigma. That's being secured. Beta was ticking down. Oh no, I guess it looks like it still is ticking down.
Briggs decided, you know what, we actually like construction site Beta. We want it back. They've brought in their air force, or at least some of it in forms of Liberator faction, I believe, and Sunder reinforcement. Looks like the repair, yes, the repair train has turned up at the back of the base. They're killing off the Terran Republic Connery Sunder spawns, so the spawns are getting taken down. I believe that's all of the Sunders now left for the TR. Still 2 long minutes for the Connery force to try and get this base.
Connery has reinforced Broken Vale Garrison. The timer did not resecure the base fully. They now have 2 galaxies and almost an entire platoon, I'd say probably 36 people here, dug in. They do have to take care of some spawn sunders and some harassers that Briggs has pulled, but this is a much stronger play for this base than a few moments ago. This is now the second time we've seen an organized harasser play. Oh, and he has a Burster Max in the back of this harasser. This is, I'm trying to get an outfit tag here, and he's unfortunately just moving too fast for me.
With 90 seconds to go in construction site Beta, the upper balconies are being held fairly well by recursion. They've got both balconies, maybe a couple of guys on the central point, although they're having to send medics in to pick up the last guys who are down. Briggs, however, is outside. Plenty of smoke's been going off. Probably, I don't know who's firing the smoke, but looks like Juggernauts. They're bringing in the Sunder again. Same setup, double Cobalt Fury, and this is going to be super effective. They're in, Sunder's there, it's getting repairs perhaps by another Sunder, yes, double Sunder play, and they're just wiping out the balcony, taking back the capture point. I love this play, but used by Juggernaut.
There is a massive, massive push to try and resecure Broken Vale through the tree tunnel area by RSNC. Right now, they are just getting chewed apart by the TR, who placed themselves on top of the triple stack building. It seemed to be their big push with under a minute remaining. There was at least 2 squads that got absolutely chewed apart at that tree entrance right there. Still enough of them are making. They pushed enough through. If they can wind up flanking around and get through the back door.
Oh jeez, oh that looks painful. They got 40 seconds. I mean, the TR force, as you're seeing in Broken Vale, they know what's going on. Oh, where's he leading them? That's the wrong way, dude. Not there. Oh, you're all getting picked up from above.
A Valkyrie just, is he dropping people off? A Valkyrie just came up onto the
and they came
top.
on the bridgeway as well. They're coming off the top, and they got a max backup as well. With 24 seconds, they could do this. With that max pushing the charge, they can just go straight for the point. Go straight for the point. No, don't kill the medic. Who cares about the medic? Go for the point. You got 15 seconds. What are you doing? Get down there. Oh, jeez, come on, Briggs, get on the point. You've got 10 seconds. You can do this. And then, likewise for Connery. You've got 10 seconds. You can do this. Oh, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. This is not enough, Briggs. Well done there.
That was a Valkyrie resecure drop. I have never seen it live or in competition, and we just wait. He's doing it again. Here he comes again. Dropping his people off. You saw it here first, guys. That was a Valkyrie surviving, dropping his people off like we expected.
Hey, with proper organization, the thing is not as bad as people say it is. It's pretty bad, but not that bad. Construction site base has been fully secured. Chac purification is being secured. Nothing's going on at the tech plant at the moment. In the south, SRP Nanite Relay is being actively attacked by Connery. Construction site Sigma has been saved. Hunter's blind, 60 seconds to go, although they outnumber 2-1. Apologise for the whiplash. Oh, it looks like the TR forces are on the capture point, so this Connery's already wiped off Briggs' force.
Yeah, Hunter's Blind looks like it's saved.
Nanite Relay, it looks like it's just a small fight, 1 to 12s. Connery's got himself a Galaxy. The capture point, however, is being pretty well... Ooh, oh, this has been redone. Oh, this used to be one of the construction sites.
Yes. As you mentioned,
Very
we have to
nice.
redo our video opening.
Yeah, no, this
changed.
is great. Nanite Relay Station is... I love this. I was here earlier. It's got this lovely kind of inner cavern system working for it. And someone's been playing with a little kind of mechanics here. A broken pipe causing some bubbles and some steam. But the capture point, yes, is underground. I wonder if Briggs realizes actively what it is, but the fact is it's a nice defense. They got 1 max. They're watching their entry points. Alright, here comes number 1. Some of the first Briggs forces. He got himself 80 seconds, but it doesn't look like there's anywhere near enough of them unless they spread out and attack from everywhere. That's a lovely engineered turret. It's very difficult to kill. Let's see if this grenade gets something. Oh no, but he's gunned this, so he takes down the engineer. It's clear to move up now for this Brig medic. Who's KKAW? KKAW?
From which server?
Briggs. Oh, he got ganked by Max.
I don't... maybe... TAW? The Art of War? No, I think I saw them before, so I don't know who KKAW is.
Fair enough. No, it could just be person's actual name. The simple fact is, there is a very large reinforcement now for Connery coming to relay. So they didn't come here with their full force. They've come in on the 1 minute marker, which I love the fact that they reinforce the attacking team, because normally it's always the defending team that gets reinforced. And with that, they are just mega overpowering Briggs at SRP Nanite Relay. And they should take the lead with this base capture in 10 seconds.
However, oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say they had people on Hunter's Blind, but that must have just been a single sneaky infiltrator that was messing around there for Briggs.
Yep, SRP Nanite Relay goes to Connery, and Connery takes the lead by 1%. 50-50 numbers at Hunter's Blind, but the fact is this large, well, this TR force, even if it wasn't that large, could redeploy to Hunter's Blind, make the save, and then come back to the current base that they're at. Looks like the tides have turned, because as far as I can tell, Briggs is only under the attack. They're trying to save Southern Labs.
And this is what I was saying. You know, Briggs really gained a lot of, as bad as the term is, was constantly overused in sports, momentum. They were the ones who were constantly pressuring. They had Connery having to deal with everything all over the map. And as soon as that slowed down and Connery got to kind of take its breath and say, okay, guys, this isn't as bad as we thought. You know, let's just go deal here, 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 and then slowly push forward. It looks to me, at least right now, that that's favoring Connery. That this slower paced match, you know, going after one thing and okay, we're just going to drop more people than you and kill off as many people as we can on a point hold, that seems to be favoring Connery at the moment.
Give it to Connery, they're not giving up. Even when a base has been secured and the enemy has a large force defending their own base, Briggs is still sending in numbers, trying to take the capture point back, doing it the hard way. I would probably decide, right, well, they're here, let's leave. You know, so I guess what I'm trying to get at is that Briggs is attacking a base even when they've lost the capture point. So there's 3 minutes to go until the defenders save the base, and Briggs comes back on the hope that they can grab it and the base is less time.
Briggs has made a massive play for Broken Vale Garrison. There has to be a platoon worth of Briggs Maxes on this point right now that are being actually taken out a little bit by some Bulldog Galaxies from Connery that have come in. But this is going to take more than just some Air Force to get rid of these guys. They are definitely dug in.
We'll come there in a second, but I guess what I was trying to get at is that Briggs maybe be more beneficial to go to a different base that doesn't have a defense already set up, but I take that back. They've got the capture point, and again, it's less than 3 minutes, although Connery is beginning to push in with Maxes and infantry. You let us keep us up to date on the Broken Vale.
Yeah, as of the moment, it was basically just Air Force over there, and there are some other things ticking that Connery might be dealing with. You're currently at Hunter's Blind?
Hunter's Blind. Now the Connery force, just checking the population numbers, it's 60-40 in favour of Briggs at the moment. Briggs is trying to do an active defense, keeping them as far away from the capture point as possible. But the Connery force has brought in significantly more maxes in that the Briggs force has none. They must have 7 maxes, just slowly making their push towards the capture point. But they're not being backed up. They're just isolated, the ones I'm seeing at least. No engineers means they will slowly be picked off, either by conch grenades or... Oh, that Max is doing a good job, though. Still, without backup, he could be so much more effective with an engineer, is what I'm trying to get at.
I'm heading back over to Broken Vale. It is ticked down very far, and as I said, the last I looked, it was mostly Air Force that Connery had over here, which was not going to get them that point. There were far too many maxes dug in deep inside of it.
So B and C, or I, B and C...
Connery...
Go ahead.
Connery does have some people on the roof of the triple building, the triple stack, and are trying to push in.
TRG Galaxy's just turned up with Bulldogs, trying to soften up the Briggs defense, and a Valkyrie from Briggs is... Oh, he's beginning to get flacked, but he was trying to engage, I think, for very briefly. Double Valkyries flying lower on the canopy. I think they're there for reinforcement or spawning.
I think Connery might be out of grenades at the top of this. They just all redeployed. This is DPSO and some others who were trying to push the top of this. Another gal just came over trying to drop in, but there are so many maxes on the point of Broken Vale. 23 seconds, I don't see a force large enough to take this point back.
Now, Devil Dogs at least has turned up at Hunter's Blind, along with the other tier force, I think, Ord, from Connery. But oh, they've just done a gal drop on the capture point. I think they just dropped a full squad on the capture point. Briggs is hauling back with 30 seconds to go. They realise what's happening and they're falling back to the capture point. Connery is making a very large push on the upper balcony. Squad doesn't look like they're doing with much urgency. Guys, you got 20 seconds left. You need to run.
Broken Vale just fell in favor of the NC Briggs, and
this
that's
is heartbreaking for Briggs. They were so close again. With 10 seconds, I'm astonished that Connery hasn't run in yet. But now they have, and we really are talking last second. But even there we go. Finally, res grenades are going to go off. But the fact is, the Connery force is inside on the point, and that was it. That's like 5 seconds. Realistically speaking, Connery could have saved the base around the 20-30 second marker. We know that last oomph because they were within the run distance. But still, that was super close. And they've got a massive reinforcement, 60-40 kind of pull in from Connery. And during this time, Connery, as we knew, got themselves Nanite Relay, but they're actually attacking Four Fingers right now, and they're 60 seconds away from getting it.
And that was exactly what Briggs was doing there with Hunter's Blind and Broken Vale is exactly what they need to do. They have to attack more than one base at once because it forces the defender to have to choose where to put his forces. And chances are he's not going to be able to defend every base that you're attacking. They got Hunter's Blind back. They lost Broken Vale. They're losing Hatcher Air Station that looks like that's being resecured. Meanwhile, Connery's just pushing Four Fingers.
It doesn't look like Four Fingers is going to be saved by Connery simply because Briggs is they were here too long and they've got proper max support. The thing is, when Briggs attacked, I don't see maxes. When Connery attacks, they do have maxes and they are set up, and just there's not enough time because Connery had 3 minutes to save Hunter's Blind, but the Briggs force has turned up on the 45-second marker. That is simply not enough time to force your way onto the capture point.
Shack water purification is currently ticking down for Connery. They are out pop, but this is one of those places where... Oh, never mind. I was just about to say they might be able to hold the doors, and they lost the doors. So this is now being resecured by NC Briggs.
Connery takes the lead again. It's kind of going back and forth, super close at the moment, but they've managed to get themselves Four Fingers. So it's interesting that Briggs is making a small push in the center, and Connery is making the push in the south and the north. Shack water purification, as you rightly said, was saved, and a large population of 2448 has been committed to saving that base, and they're still there. Briggs is trying to get themselves the awful pit, although they're outnumbered, and I see it very kind of dodgily. I don't think they'll be able to pull that off. And right now, the Briggs force is trying to recapture the Four Fingers. Now, they have the Sunders that they brought in as the defense force is now the attacking force. So they do have spawn in, they've got themselves a Liberator kind of gun support above in the tree line, and they have at least one max on the capture point, 2 maxes. So in theory, they should be able to pull this off, but the difference as the previous one is that when Connery was here, they were unmolested for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then they all had to defend actively for the last minute. Now, Briggs is attacking this base, and they have to fight the full 4 minutes. You know, Connery is here the entire time, and they can call in, when necessary, the reinforcements they need to make the save.
Hatcher Air Station is currently being resecured by Connery. However, there is Briggs is holding the C point, and there's so many Connery here. I'm not entirely sure why this is happening. I'm heading down to check out. This might be one hero infiltrator or something on Briggs' part. He's not even an infiltrator. This is a hero medic on C. He finally was shotgunned off there, but you know, that's another thing. If you can have those small groups of people, infiltrators, or just you know, 3 to 6 people who are willing to go out and say, hey, let's go try and take a point, you can have points ticking more than where you're actually pushing your forces to. And either server, be it Briggs or Connery, needs to start doing that if they want to get heavily into the lead. Are you still at Four Fingers?
I am still at Four Fingers watching Briggs cap. They've got 2 minutes to go. It's hard to see because I'm not NC, I don't know exactly all the points, but they are holding the enemy back. I'm just currently looking at the map timeline at the moment.
Briggs has made a play for Gurney Dam. They have their Air Force above us. Actually, there's a massive air battle going on above Gurney Dam. I'm trying to get up high. Oh, and I have the lovely bug where even though I spawned in the warp gate, it only lets me go to 500 meters. So I can't see I can't see the air battle. They're too high above me.
You spawned at the warp gate? What are you talking about?
Yes.
You're an observer camera. Jump out, jump back in again.
Right, but it still gives me the bug with the 500 meter thing.
Well, then go
I
to
can't
the
go
warp
higher
gate
then.
and fix it. You can go like 9 million miles an hour.
Anyway,
Gurney Dam, yes?
Connery's air seems to have held off a majority of Briggs' air over top of the dam, and Briggs is still holding the point at the dam, though there are Connery people trying to push in at the moment. They just did right now.
Oh, it's a huge force in the bridges from the south. And the point is already flipping. Briggs has been caught off guard in Banana Building. They're not actually on the capture point. Four Fingers, 60 seconds to go. Briggs is doing an exceptionally good job at retaking the base. And on the assumption that Justicia doesn't make the call because he didn't on the 1 hour half marker mark, I'll make it the next 50 seconds, which will be the 1 hour mark.
Yeah, just wait until the time passes and see if he does. There is a large secure going on at Shack Tech Plant. This is probably the largest push that Briggs has made. They've actually brought the generators down for the first time, and they have a Galaxy parked up top. I'm trying to get inside here.
So I found an NC heavy assault. He's holding the bridge by himself against 3 or 4 Terran Republic soldiers and a Max. Ask this man, is he Gandalf? Because he's holding his own at the moment. Okay, maybe he's running away now. He's not going to fall. But he's stalling. Oh, and lovely heavy assault rocket, but the Max charges in and picks them off. That's a Balrog right there. Okay, well, there you go. The Max now moving on to the capture point. The capture point itself looks unprotected. No, this is interesting.
This is Justicia, game referee and all call. 1 hour remaining. 1 hour remaining in the game.
There you go, our referee's on the ball.
Also, Farah, could you exit and re-enter your observer cam? You've got the elevator bug, sound bug.
Okay.
By the way, at the tech plant, the TR have managed to push in through the large gun deck at the side and are trying to take the A point. However, they keep on getting pushed off. I don't think they have enough people here, and Briggs has managed to trip the SCU. So now there's 2 problems that Connery has to deal with. It. This is at Shack Tech Plant.
Ah, we'll come over there. Also, at the same time, Briggs was able to take Four Fingers, and the Terran Republic force to the capture point was again a few seconds too late. Now the defending force from Connery has become the attacking force. So this is like the base at the end of the world as far as the 2 outfits are concerned and their warp gates. And now Connery's trying to take it back, and Briggs has just disappeared for a brief moment again.
Connery did manage to get the A point back at Shack Tech, and I'm trying to see. It looks like they also stopped the SCU ticking. Yeah, they hold the A point here. They do not hold the balcony, but they have some max support, and probably will be able to wrap this up a little bit.
Yeah, the SCU's been saved, so they did come in. and that's just painful for Briggs. Although the fact is, if we look at the percentages, they are slightly in the lead again. Space Rice Paddy's under attack. That'll be interesting. We'll check that out. Connery is trying to take that off of Briggs.
Briggs did get the awful pit at one point in here. I unfortunately missed that cap.
So Briggs has got to deal with, I think it's an extremely high altitude galaxy. Yes, extremely high altitude galaxy over Space Rice Paddy. Although Briggs has brought in some Reavers just kind of mauling away at the balcony, and we see Briggs on the balcony, a lot of dead Connery, light assaults coming in on the point. That's a nice little light assault force from Gabs. Do you know who Gabs are from Briggs?
Yep, that is got batteries.
So they just wiped TRG and Devil Dogs and got them off the point from a nice little kind of light assault flank. And Briggs' Air Force is on site, here to provide support, just picking off the last of the Terran Republic Connery. There's a beacon from the Connery, they're dropping in. The fact is why, it's also surprising. Oh wait, never mind. I was going to say that galaxy's still up there, but no it's not. There's a lot of Reavers from Briggs and Liberators as well, patrolling the air. Yeah, curiosity, where is Connery's Air Force? I know it's very hard sometimes to keep track, and maybe we should kind of embed ourselves with the Air Force to better find them in their platoons, but...
Well, one of the problems is that you have such a limited view of everything on Hossin. I see some stragglers of them down here near, over here at Construction Site Beta, but last I checked they were mostly over the center of the map. I'm going to go check again.
Well, if you check the map again for momentum, Four Fingers has been attacked by Terran Republic Connery. There's a large Briggs force at SRP Nanite Relay, but they can't attack because Four Fingers is under contention by Connery. Now, we do see the numbers are beginning to change and more defenders are moving in, so we'll go there in a second. But we see the momentum of the map has changed again. Briggs has saved hydroponics and they are attacking Hurricane Secure Storage, although not with numbers. They are attacking Construction Site Epsilon with numbers, and they're losing off put. They need to save that, and they're losing Jack Tech Plant, but they're committing forces. So at the moment, Briggs is being the aggressor in that they are forcing Connery to be defensive caps, and they're still making offensive caps, if that makes sense. They're grabbing a base.
You asked where Connery's Air Force was. They're at the Awful Pit now. They just came in from the south, a very large number of them. Again, trying to kill off Sunders, and this is the perfect place for them to use these libs and these bulldog guns to try and use their air to prevent Briggs to get to the point. Briggs has to run out in the open from their spawn rooms, and this is the perfect base to try and utilize your air power to stop that.
So the quick reaction force Gabs that just saved Space Rice Paddy is now saving Four Fingers. They've turned up in force. They've caused the point to flicker. They don't actually on it yet, but that's realistically only a matter of time. They're so close, and it doesn't look like there's that many Connery defenders on the capture point.
There is a well-dug-in force of Briggs at Hurricane Secure Storage, which is a difficult base to get to and resecure, and despite what the population tells you, there is no Connery here trying to deal with this. I don't know if it's air that's actually showing up on this thing, but this is a minute away from capping, and Connery does not have anyone to push out what looks like it might even be 2 squads on the point at Hurricane Secure Storage.
Four Fingers is escalating, not de-escalating. A large recall from Gabs did make the big save and got the capture point back, but Connery brought in extra reinforcements, and this fight has gone from a 1 through 12 to a 12-24. We are now in 48 plus. Yes, more or less. We're just slightly over 48 per faction now on Four Fingers. Connery has got himself a Sunder setup, which I'm trying to spot. Yeah, oh, that is a beautiful little parking Sunder location. Very hard to bomb and well protected, so Briggs is going to have a hard time kind of assassinating or picking it off. And we see Connery has pushed back the Briggs force and has got himself a capture point, and crucially this time only with 2.5 minutes to go.
With under 10 seconds, I'm sorry, under 15 seconds to go, this is FCLM that is holding it for Briggs. DPSO and another outfit attempted to do a gal drop resecure, and it did not work. There are simply too many people in there. They're trying it again here, but this space is going to fall to Dent and FCLM. And so Hurricane Secure Storage falls to Briggs. I think really that was Connery Command not realizing that the population at this is actually lies. The point is on Hurricane Amp Station, not on Hurricane Secure, and so it tells you that there's different populations than you expect.
So you're gonna love this. I was following an NC harasser that was reversing into with an enforcer on top into an enemy Sundra, chasing it in reverse. Why was he reversing? Because he had a double AV Max in his back seat that was just firing away into the Sundra. It was very nice, and he got his kill. But it doesn't actually help the base in any way. With 80 seconds to go, Briggs is going to lose their hard-earned base. They're trying to pull vehicles to kill off, I think, Connery spawns, but Connery has pushed the Briggs defending force right back to their bridges, almost to their spawn room. Population numbers, they're outnumbered 60-40. I wonder if some of the defenders have been pulled off of Four Fingers by Briggs to go somewhere else.
The Awful Pit is an even pop fight going right now. I'm trying to look where other population might be here.
The Hurricane Secure Storage, did you mention that was taken, yes? By
Yes,
Briggs?
I did.
So that put them slightly in the lead at 52%, but with the capture of Four Fingers by Connery, which we're going to assume is going to be the case, it will take it back to a single base again, being the deciding factor, but Briggs still being slightly in the lead. What is this medic up to? He's trying to throw some C4 on. That's a lot of health on that Galaxy. Oh, did he just get drop podded? No.
There is a large force of Connery that's back at Space Rice Paddy. They're trying to get on the point. They haven't gotten set up yet, and unfortunately Briggs was kind of here to stop them. This may not happen. Connery was sort of caught in transition. They weren't quite set up on the point, and Briggs caught him with their pants down.
Who's TXR?
That is TXR. Total Recoil.
Total Recoil are the outfit, or at least the dominant outfit, and unfortunately Briggs has turned up a little too late to trying to grab the capture point back. But the difference, crucially this time, is that the Briggs defending / now attacking force does not have the vehicle support or the spawn support to make a sustained attack on Four Fingers. So I think finally Connery manages to get their hands on Four Fingers. Even though they're slightly outpopped at the moment, we don't see many spawns, or any spawns, for the Connery force. Sorry, for the Briggs force is going to get wiped out.
I am headed up to the Awful Pit, which looks like it is slowly but surely ticking in Connery's favor. Keeps on flipping back and forth. This is one of those bases that, though the air can have some effect on Briggs leaving its spawn rooms, once you get down into those trees, it's very difficult for Connery's Air Force to affect the point or anything directly around it. It's a very infantry-focused base, lots of flanking ability, lots of ability to pop smoke or light assault over somebody and get behind them completely. That being said, Connery is doing a very nice little point hold on here with lots of smoke, lots of gal drops to resecure and bring back in reinforcements. And Connery has now managed to take the entire center tree section and try to spawn contain. This base is basically how quickly can the attackers get to spawn contain the base. I suppose that's really any base, but this one in particular, because they can attack you from both sides, you have to defend both sides. You have to get on both staircases and prevent them from getting down to you, or else if you just defend one, they're going to wrap around behind you and take out everything.
Well, we can see at Four Fingers, Briggs has actually managed to get himself a Sunder set up. It's some runaway. How on earth did that get up there? That's an impressive drive. They have got themselves a beautifully set up RDBC. Has got themselves a lovely set up Sunder. But the problem is that no, I take it back. I was going to say it's far away from the capture point, but it's closer than the defenders. So it's closer than Connery spawns. But they need to bring Maxes and have an organised push to get the capture point back, and the double building behind the capture point is also very important. In fact, that infiltrator is beginning to flip it along with his medic backup.
And just as I said that they need to spawn contain both the spawn room and the teleporter at the Awful Pit, Connery does not spawn contain the teleporter side stair, and a massive group of Maxes and other NC have pushed through here. It looks like the battle lines are basically being drawn up directly over top of the A point. You have Connery getting dug in. I don't see any Sunders, but they're dropping from Galaxies, and you have Briggs, which is basically just swapping which direction they decide to charge A from.
So, in reverse, the Connery force lost the capture point at Four Fingers. However, they did kill off the Briggs Sunder. Briggs did get himself onto the point convincingly, but unfortunately without a spawn, their numbers are going to plummet now with no reinforcements. They are, however, attacking Hunter's Blind, but it being 50-50, I don't think Briggs can be able to hold it, especially since this attacking / defending force at Four Fingers from Connery can redeploy to Hunter's Blind and save. Hurricane Secure Storage is being saved